for the opportunity to speak here today. And I'd like to send to you all the greetings of all the prophets of Assalamu Alaikum. My brief address, which is about 10 minutes, is respect for the womb that bore you. And I chose that title because I wanted to speak on something that was universal in nature, dealing with women. And you know, as I had prepared for this brief address, I couldn't help but reflect on the fact that all of my bosses there at the post office are women, except for my general foreman and immediate supervisor. And I know that there is still some men who have a problem with women bosses. But for me, I just had to look at the example of our prophet Muhammad of 1400 years ago. His first employer was a woman, a wealthy woman by the name of Lady Khadijah, who was a successful businesswoman in trading. And she was so impressed by his character and his dedication to his job that she asked his uncle for his hand in marriage. And she was 20 years older than he was. And I'm told to follow the ways of our prophet, so I have no problem with women bosses, sometimes. Someone once said, behind every great man, there is a woman. Well, let me just clarify that statement, if I may. Behind every great man, there is a great woman. And behind every man, period, or every human being, there is a woman. Because no man or human being came without the aid of his mother. And no matter how wealthy we are, or whether we are Hispanic, African, European, or Asian, we first came on this planet through the wombs of our mothers. Some of the greatest men that ever lived, Jesus, Moses, and Muhammad, may God be pleased and blessings be upon them, were nurtured by some of the greatest women to walk the face of this earth. Mary, Mariam, Amina. And we also know of Sarah and Hagar, to name a few others. They were chosen, they were common, yet extraordinary women. And I say common because they were, for the most part, not from the halls of academia. But they were extraordinary in their faith and loving and caring as mothers. And they were chosen by God to give birth to the greatest men or the greatest minds that we know. And I believe this is a great message about the dignity of women. They were not prophets, but they were chosen to give birth to prophets. History tells us that the birth of society is like the birth of a baby. It develops in stages and grows to become a functioning human being by the careful nurturing of a woman. It is the mother who is the first teacher and the first doctor to that baby. It is the mother who feeds that baby, sometimes from her own breast. And it was the mother who experienced the pain and suffering to bring us into this world. And my holy book, the Quran, says, in trial upon trial did your mother bear you. And if you were to try to thank her for the rest of your life, you could never thank her just for the suffering she went through to bring you on this planet. And that's why I believe so many men used to get upset, and we probably have a few today, and were ready to fight when you talk bad about their mothers. Because that respect for the womb that produced us, the mother that nurtured us, should be sacred, should be respected. But somewhere along the way, we lost that healthy respect for mother, for wife, and women in general. We were given a false presentation or a false image of a woman as a mere sex object, something just to satisfy our exaggerated lust and to entice men to buy more products. I don't have to go into details. You know how women are presented in the movies and in the media and in television. This unnatural portrait of a woman is seen by the high amount of rape, women abuse, and total disrespect with the presentation of women in pornographic film. They have gotten us to laugh and make mockery of and disrespect the very womb that bore us. They have forced us not to see the mother, the doctor, the teacher, or the businesswoman first when looking at a woman, but to see and judge her on the size of her anatomy. Not all of us are guilty of this, but the great majority of us are infected by this sexist disease that robs us from seeing the true nature and beauty of a woman. So what is the answer? It is, I believe, for us to promote the proper image of a woman as the first mother and teacher of humanity, the womb of all human life. For us to see and understand that when our women are abused, mistreated, and disrespected, the downfall of our families and societies is imminent. A wise person once said, you can judge a people by how how they treat their women. And they say paradise lies at the foot of the woman, and the best of you is he who is best to his wife. So our job and responsibility as men is to see that the great dignity and role of our women is protected and defended if necessary. To be willing to come to the defense of a woman being mistreated or abused, whether physically or mentally. Whether that abuse is in Yugoslavia, Somalia, Haiti, Latin America, or the United States. The only difference, they say, between a man and a woman is that the man is physically more stronger, sometimes. And it is that strength that he should use to defend his society, his wife, his family, his mother. In closing, I'd just like to say and leave you with these words from my holy book. It says, your life, your death, and your resurrection are as one soul. So for us to continue growing and achieving, we must support and respect each other. Thank you.